Every time we do a piece of writing, we'll build up a whole week of work on what the features of different pieces of writing are, and then I've created these on features of a biography, etc., for the different types of text. And then when we can go back to it for their independent writing, children refer to them in their writing and in their lessons. So for example, this morning we went back to diary entries, and the children were able to use that and to think about what would make their diary entries successful. So the fabulous feedback was an idea that I created based on children working in their plenaries at the end of the lesson, and rather than me telling them what to do, it's for them to be very independent. They can go up, they can get one of these, so we've got challenge cards, thinking hats ideas, exit cards, and they can feed back on what they've learnt in the lesson, what they've enjoyed about the lesson, what their next steps are. It's been really, really positive as well. It's the first time I've ever tried this, and it's been really, really positive and taken on board, and the children are quite eager to share what they're learning. And then it's helpful for me to plan the next lesson as well, to go on and see what their next steps are and where they think they are and where they need to be next.
Brilliant. Thanks. And just moving round, tell us about how you use this wall.
Okay, so this is my numeracy working wall, and it changes each week. We start with a question of the week. For this week we're looking at what are fractions and what use do they have, and the children know what their outcome's going to be by the end of the week, what they were able to do. And it builds up as the course of the week goes on. So we start with collecting different vocabulary with the children. We've used the QR codes so the children can be independent and find out what the words mean and what the vocabulary is. Some video clips. I give them some prompts and some resources, and then children can add their learning, post-it notes, some pic collages we've created on the iPads as well with children's learning on. So there's some examples of what a good one looks like. These are sort of based on starters of what children thought the fraction might be, and that changes on a week-to-week basis. And then this is our numeracy working wall as well. So these are learning ladders based on the children's levels, so they're all aware of where they are, where they need to be next.
Up here, tell me about this display and how you use it.
So that's our modelled writing, and I will model a piece of writing depending on the text we're looking at. So we've got instructions, an information text, a myth, a letter, and there's a poem just been added at the end, and that will build up over the course of the year. But we do it once, and then when they come back to their writing, it means that I'm not remodelling again, so they can be independent and they know what a good one looks like for next time. So not every piece of writing throughout the year is modelled, so children can be more independent in their learning. And that adds to our literacy working wall as well. So again, with the question of the week, the outcomes there, and it builds up over the course of the week with post-it notes, children's work, the QR codes again to be independent, sort of photos of children's learning. We use the thinking hats to prompt questioning. The learning journey is every subject. So because we do a creative curriculum, it links our literacy, numeracy, science, art, DT, sort of everything, and it builds up week on week. So that one starts with the question we had of the week for week 1 of the half term. We're now on week 4, so I've colour coded it so that children can see where their learning was week 1, which is the blue, and then each colour moves on. We're now on week 4, which is the yellow learning. And I use good examples of children's work. I also put work on there that's not final work either, so it's work that perhaps has got need to improve as well, so they can see what they need to improve and they can see that. So it's not a final draft, it might just be a half draft. Again, QR codes on there, photos, we've got photos of the trip we went on yesterday, so it all adds to their learning journey, and the children can see how their work is built up over the course of the half term.